The shores of Tripoli has 1 to 2 players play at the First Barbary War from the American or Tripoli side. Fort Circle Games provided this in exchange for an honest review. Dark circles show the 9 city harbors. Red are controlled by Tripoli, and blue are friendly to the American side. Orange harbors are Tripoli's potential allies. Surrounding some harbors are light-shaded patrol zones where American and Swedish frigates patrol for corsairs. The open sea is where corsairs hit merchant ships for gold. The year and season tracks at the bottom mark the rounds. The U.S. has access to large frigates and small gunboats to attack and raid the Tripolitans. Swedish frigates only use Tripoli's patrol zone. The white and blue cubes are the combined Arab and American infantry and used for ground assaults. Tripoli has many smaller corsairs and may obtain some frigates. Their allies only develop corsairs. The red cubes represent the Tripoli infantry defending the cities. Frigates roll 2 dice to attack and take 2 hits to sink. Gunboats and corsairs roll 1 die to attack and take 1 hit to sink. Infantry cubes only attack in ground combat. They roll 1 die per and are eliminated with a single hit. Each side has a unique deck. 3 core events, marked with a double ring, start in front of each player. These can only be played for the event effect. Unique events, marked with a lightning bolt, can be played and removed for their event or discarded to take an action. Battle cards, marked with crossed swords, can be played for their event if conditions are met or discarded to take an action. On their turn, the Americans can play a card as an event, discard a card to move up to 2 frigates, or discard a card to build a gunboat in the Malta harbor. The Tripolitans can play a card as an event, discard a card to pirate raid with the Tripoli Corsairs, or discard a card to build another Tripolitan Corsair in Tripoli. The Americans have 2 special victory event cards marked with a star. If all conditions are met when one of these is played, the American player wins. The Treaty of Peace and Amity allows the American player to win without eliminating all Tripolitan Corsairs. Assault on Tripoli allows the Americans to win if Tripoli is captured. Tripoli can win in a few different ways. Acquire all 12 gold pieces from the American player, sink 4 American frigates, or destroy Hammond's army. American frigates can move to harbors. When American frigates move to a harbor with enemy ships, a naval battle begins. First, the Americans may move any gunboats in from Malta. Each player then announces if they're playing any battle cards. If so, resolve them. Players then roll for each ship in the battle. Hit on a 6. Players distribute enemy hits to their own fleets. Sink gunboats, corsairs, and Tripolitan frigates return to the supply. Sunk American frigates are given to the Tripolitan player, who wins when they collect 4. A frigate is damaged if they take a single hit. Place it on the gear tracks following gear to be collected come spring. This represents the time needed for repairs. At the end of the battle, surviving American gunboats and undamaged frigates move to Malta. If American ships move into a harbor with only Tripolitan infantry, a naval bombardment occurs. This lasts a single round and follows the general rules as naval combat, but the Tripolitan infantry doesn't attack. Defeated infantry cubes are returned to the supply, and American ships are moved to Malta. If all infantry are eliminated, the city still remains under Tripolitan control until Hammond's army moves in. Ground combat occurs when the American player moves Hammond's army into Dern, Benghazi, or Tripoli, or plays the Assault on Tripoli card to attack with Marine infantry. This is a fight to the finish. First, the American player bombards with any harbor ships. Then players may play battle cards. Finally, each side rolls dice for their attacks and applies enemy hits to their own troops. Tripoli can win by raiding all 12 gold from the Americans. To pirate raid, discard a card, then move all corsairs from the Tripoli harbor to the open sea. If there are American or Swedish frigates in the Tripoli patrol zone, they roll for interception. Hit on a 6. The surviving corsairs move to the open sea and roll for each ship. They successfully raid a gold piece for each 5 or 6. All corsairs then return to their home port. As usual, both players may play battle cards for both interception and raid. Some Tripoli cards allow them to raid with allied corsairs. The same rules apply for the interception and raiding rules. Both sides work toward their victory conditions until a victor is declared. If neither side wins by the end of 1806, the game is a draw. Play cards, build and move your ships, raid/attack your enemies, and claim victory. That's the Shores of Tripoli. The Shores of Tripoli may fit on a large rectangular coffee table. Player areas aren't very large, but the board is surprisingly wide. The cards are around a 4th grade reading level, but the tactical and strategic decisions are likely too difficult for experienced gamers under 9. Until a player can handle this on their own, maybe try having the kid play with a partner. Our games, including Sediment Takedown, have averaged 45 minutes. I played as the Americans in our 4th game of the Shores of Tripoli. I immediately slowed Mum down by sinking her corsairs, then created a blockade. Within a few rounds, she managed to gain 5 gold coins from Tripoli and allied pirate raids, and broke my blockade. This worried me. I brought my upcoming year's frigate out early and used it to demolish Mum's corsairs in Tripoli. The next round, she gained more coins. It was 1806, and do or die. I created Hammond's army and pushed my luck, even though the Tripolitans had 3 of my frigates. I brought the battle to Tripoli, and Mum sunk my last frigate. The Shores of Tripoli has a lot of dice rolling plus the randomness of the cards, but your decks have ways of increasing your chance of success. I wasn't sure when looking over the rules if there would be enough mitigation, but even the first play shows that this isn't the case. It's really difficult for the Americans to win until you've been them a few times. Once you've seen the game's arc and the US deck, you'll have a better idea of when to attack and when to hold back. The ships, infantry cubes, and graphic design of the board really work together well. The board never feels crowded, and it looks great while you play. I also love the card graphic design and quality. Turns are fast, battles too, aside from the actual assault on Tripoli due to it having multiple rounds. There are some quick war games out there such as Fort Sumter, but this caught me off guard. Like Fort Sumter, the gameplay is rather simple. In fact, it's even simple for a card-driven war game. That doesn't mean it's bad though. I'm spoiling things here, but this is a great choice for a first war game. There are tons of games about World War II and the US Civil War, but how many about the First Barbary War? It was cool learning the history from the cards and booklet. It also is a list of books so you can learn more. The Shores of Tripoli is a war game with both strategy and tactics, but the exact percentage depends on which side you're playing. There's quite a bit of randomness, but enough player choices to allow you to see your strategy through. However, it is still an introduction to war games and simpler than the Undaunted series or 1918 Death on the Rails. While it could have a place on many gamers' shelves, it's probably best suited as a gateway to the wider world of war games.